Hi, so let's continue our discussion, but this time we will be talking about evaluating expressions. So our goal here is to use the order of operations to evaluate expression. So the first thing that comes to mind, what is evaluate? So when we talk about evaluating an algebraic expression is what you do is you replace each variable with a given number. So from the root word, the root word of evaluate is value. So you put a value, a specific value for the variable in your expression. So for example, how is it done? What is the value of the expression for x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 2? So if our expression is x squared plus x minus 12 divided by y squared. So what we will do is we will replace all the variables by their corresponding values here. So rewriting this expression, that will now be 5 squared plus that x is going to be 5 minus 12 divided by that y is going to be 2, and you have the exponent 2 again. And now that you have all numbers in here, then we simplify. And how do we simplify? We use PEMDAS. Okay, we do not see any grouping symbol, so let's switch to exponents and we can see that there are two of them. So 5 squared is going to be 25, and this will stay as 5 minus 12 divided by 2 squared, on the other hand, is going to be 4. All right, so after our parentheses and exponents, we now move on to multiplication or division. So if you're going to inspect the expression from left going to right, the operation that we will see is the division. Okay, so that will now be 25 plus 5 minus the quotient of 12 and 4, and that's going to be 3. And we are down to our last two operation, and since this is addition and subtraction, we just have to do it from left to right. So we start with 25 plus 5, that's going to be 30 minus 3, and simplifying this, you will get 27. All right, so let's have some more expressions here. So let's say we have 4 times the quantity s minus t squared, and the value that we will put for s is 2 and t will be equal to 5. So first things first, let's replace our variables. So we have 4 times our s will become 2, the t will become 5, and then we still have that exponent 2 over there. And so now we simplify. Do we have our parentheses? Yes. So we evaluate that. So we simplify that, I should say. So that will be 4 times 2 minus 5. That will be negative 3. And you have that exponent 2. So grouping simple is done. Now what operation are we left with? We have multiplication and exponent. Exponent takes precedence. And so this will now be 4 times negative 3 squared is going to be positive 9. And so if we're going to find a product of 4 and 9, this will be a single value of 36. Let's have the next one. So we have 2x minus y squared, I should say, wherein x is going to be equal to 7, and then y is going to be equal to 3.5. So let's replace our variables here. Let's use a different ink. So 2, the x, let's just use, so it's a lot easier for you to see where the variable was, or making sure that you do not write it wrong. So typically what you can do is to use you use a parenthesis as you replace the value of the variable. So this x will now become a 7. So that's the x minus y squared. So our y is 3.5 squared. Okay. So what do we work on first? So we have 2 times 7 minus 3.5 squared. We have multiplication, subtraction, and exponent. The priority will be exponent. So this will be 2 times 7 minus 3.5 squared. If you calculate that, that will be 12.25. And then now we can do our multiplication. 2 times 7, that's going to be 14 minus 12.25, and you will get 1.75 as the difference of these two expressions. Okay, so you can try out evaluating these following expressions. So you have 2p squared plus the quantity 2q squared, wherein you replace p by 4, q by 5. The other expression, 2w plus 3v over v squared. V will be 6 and w will be 1. Go ahead, try it out. So after evaluating and simplifying the expressions, you should end up with 132 and 5 over 9. All right. So let's try using a word problem. So what is an expression for the spending money you have left after depositing 2/5 of your wages in savings? So we need to evaluate the expression for weekly wages of $40, $50, $75, and $100. So let's start first with writing an expression. So we are looking for the whatever money is left after you deposit 2/5 of your wages. So first thing that we have to do is we need a variable. Now what we need to represent is the wages. Now one technique that you can use is you can use the first letter of the word as your representing variable. So that's going to be W. Okay, so your wage is the total money that you earn, and what do you do with it? You subtract, because you subtract 2/5 of the wage. Okay, so of is an operation for that's multiplication. The word of is simply the same as multiplying. So the remaining money after you deposit 2/5 of your wage, so that will involve subtraction. So the wage minus 2/5 of your wage, that's the expression that we can use. So now if your weekly wage was $40, so we can replace it. So let's use a different ink here. Let's have, if we have $40 wage, if W is equal to $40, so that would be 40 minus 2/5 of 40. And if you simplify, you will have 80 divided by 5, which is going to be 16. So this is going to be 40 minus 16, and that's going to be 24. Okay, so you still have $24 left after you deposited $16 if you have a wage of 40. Now, if you have a wage of 50, so same scenario. You just replace the W by 50. So now you will have 50 minus 2/5 of 50. So that would be 100 divided by 5. That's 20. So 50 minus 20. That's going to give you $30 left for you to spend. So you can do the same with $75 and 100. All right. So as a summary, okay, following the order of operations is very important. It's an integral part of simplifying and evaluating algebraic expressions. All right, thank you.